Hey everyone, Lensman Oz here, and this is the Direwolf20 pack, episode 8, coming to you from the Shadow Node server. How you all doing today? I've had a couple of visitors to the base since I last recorded. So we have outside, we had Nate drop by. Nate's great, and he left me a mailbox. He sent me a message through Discord saying that there was a mailbox outside for me. So let's open up and have a look. Ooh, acceleration one. That's pretty cool. So this should allow me to accelerate things at the cost of power. I don't know if you just hold down right click or something. But that's pretty cool. This is completely full of wheat now. Whew. So these things can be sped up, I guess. But this allows machines to run a bit fast, so that's going a bit faster. So if I don't know, spam right click, you can see how well, it's actually going pretty fast still. So you can see how slow it's going at the moment. I do have a little bit of lag today. Not 100% sure what's causing it. Things seem to be alright, but that's progressing through. It's alright, it's fairly well. And you can see on the wall here there's another gift. So let's just put away this stone of wheat. Okay. The server was really good just like 2 minutes ago. Maybe it's just now that I'm recording it's decided, no, I don't want to know. So Main Freak dropped by and he has given me a gift. The gift is an advanced charge porter. We'll grab that, which apparently, shift right click, gives you the ability to set targets. So at the moment this is set to Main Freak's base, and also another one for my base. So down, he's dug a hole back here. I don't know what that is yet. I haven't been down there yet. And he's put a little room in, and he's given me a matter transmitter and a matter receiver from RF Tools and a dialing device. So I can come in here and right click on here, and when the server catches up, jeez, it's never been this bad. Well, I've never had it this bad. Let's try again. There we go. Yeah, we can dial up another place and head on over there. Yep, there we go. So I can select Main Freak's base and dial it, and we can head on over to Main Freak's base and have a look. Now, as I said, I haven't seen this bit yet. I don't. Oh my gosh. Wow. Main Freak, I'm guessing this was you as well, as you've been fairly busy down here. So this is a nice area. It's far better than what I can build. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you very much for all my gifts. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use this room for yet, but it's pretty cool. Oh look, Nate's on. All right. Yeah, so that was very nice of them to give me gifts. I'm very appreciative. Thank you if you are watching. Pretty sure Main Freak watches. Not sure if Nate does. But potentially he does. If so, hello. Thank you. Right. What was I going to do this episode? I was going to look into some more automation with refined storage. Let's get rid of that. That in here. Now you can see I covered up the cable here. This is just, I used a bit of chisels and bits. I'm not an expert on chisels and bits by any way, shape or form, but I ended up just getting pretty much a slab of, I got a piece of stone and then I chiseled it into bits and laid it back as planes in here. So I'll learn a little bit more about it before I go and do more. But this at the moment is covering the cable up and not causing any dramas. So automation. Refined storage has the ability to make automate things the same way as AE does. To do that in this one, you need these things here called a crafter. Now these crafters are a bit like the interfaces for AE. They can be put up against any machine or sat by themselves, and they can craft. So we're going to need a minimum of one of these because I'd like to try and get the cores, these processes and that automated. And to do that, potentially, we need to set up recipes to be able to do this. So I'm going to need some silicon. Let's grab some of that and we'll run that in here. So this is making some of the basic storages, because what we're also going to need is a pattern grid. So we're going to need to make another grid. So like this. So we're going to need construction and destruction, 2 improved processes, and a machine casing. So we're going to need a couple of basic processes. And then we're going to need to go to a pattern grid, which means we're going to need an advanced processor, which is a diamond one, and a pattern. Now patterns are fairly easy. They're just some glass, some redstone, and some quartz enriched iron. So let's take them and then grab at least 1 diamond. Don't have a lot of diamonds. So we'll get that made up, and then I'm going to need, I'll do all of these silicon. So we've got a few of the bases. So I'll also need some redstone. Let's grab half a stack. And some glass. Do we have glass? A little bit of glass. That's cool. So let's make a pattern while we're waiting. So there's a pattern. And as I said, we need a grid. So what have we got? Okay. So if I take 6 of these, I'll let this finish. And what did I need again for the grid? Construction and destruction, 2 improved. So this is just basics, nether quartz, and what was the other one? Glowstone. So let's grab a nether quartz and a glowstone and make up 2 of them like so. We'll get 2 of the basics, and I'll just duck over here and grab out some of my materials I was processing up. I was a little bit low on gold, so I grabbed the ore that I had in the system and put it in the sag mill because it gives a bonus drop. So it gives the bonus of copper. So that's just a nice little extra for processing the material through. So I've just been cooking them up. The other thing Mainfreak did is he upgraded all my cables, all my conduits. So I now have Ender energy conduits for all of them. I'm not sure what happened there. He said he went to change one and he couldn't hook up what he needed, so he just changed the lot. So again, thank you for that. I'm guessing they run all the way back over here too. Does this have any RF in it? Otherwise, Whaler's just, or whichever one we use in this pack, is being a bit derpy. That's full. The base is pretty much running almost straight on the culinary generators. The canola generator really is kind of backup power at the moment. So there's the 2 basics. Let's throw these in. Take them out. Just do all of them. And let's make them. And then hopefully I need construction and destruction, and then I need those two of the gold ones that are happening. It's 1. Things are taking a while today. I need some speed upgrades. 2. There's the grid. So if you remember before, to make the pattern grid, we actually need to put it in a solderer. So we need the pattern and the advanced processor to make this. So let's get you out of there. Come on. One more of these in. Put the diamond one in. Let it go. And then we'll put the grid, the pattern, and the diamond processor in. And we'll get our pattern grid. Take that out, that. Gonna make it? See, it's not in the same order that's in here either, which is a little bit weird. But I'm just shift clicking that in, and it seems to be placing it where it wants it, which is fine by me. If it's going to work itself out, great. So what do we need? We want to get a crafter, so we're going to need 2 advanced and then another construction and destruction core. So I've got 2 of the basics on me. So let's. Oh, really? Let's get those 2 basics going, and then we're going to need a couple of diamonds. Alright, and we're going to place this here. And it should connect up. Cool. So this allows us to make the patterns up. This allows you to make patterns that are craftable in a crafting table. There is another one, another device. What's it called? This one here, processing pattern encoder. This is the one where you would say 1 sand equals 1 glass, for example, in a machine. So I'll need to make one of these, which doesn't look that hard. Do I have another one of these machine casings? No. Oop. Oh no, that's don't do it in this window because it will it won't actually give you the item. No. Okay, so we need to make furnace. Shouldn't be too hard. We need to make another one of these. And then 2 more patterns. Alright, and that should give us the pattern encoder, processing pattern encoder. This one doesn't need to be connected to the network, I don't believe. I don't think it needs power. But let's put it here anyway. Let's see, here you can see my my chiseled piece that's just covering the front. Alright, so that's in there, and this one's similar to the pattern grid, but this one, as I said, is you'd put like one cobble equals 1 smooth stone, and then you could put one of these crafters up against the back of a furnace, for example, and it will turn cobble into smooth stone. Very simple. It will need patterns as well, so one of the first patterns we need to teach is how to make a pattern, because that's always handy. So you could, I don't think you can actually pull out of this one either, which is a bummer, because potentially you may not have the actual item. So here's a pattern to make a pattern. Right, so now I have a pattern that takes 3 glass, 3 redstone, and 3 quartz enriched iron and makes a pattern. Very simple. Cool thing about this one is that you don't need the item to make the pattern, whereas in applied energistics you do need each item before you can make the item you're trying to create. So even if it's just to craft a pattern for it, you still need the item. So let's get all this junk, and I needed to make 2 more diamond processors, so I've been talking while this could have been processing. Wrong one. I'm going to have to get used to that. Let's drop them in there. It's 2 improved, 2 basics. I'm going to need another piece of glowstone and another piece of nether quartz to make the construction and destruction cores again. Then I need these, that, and that. And then we will make a crafter. So I'm going to need another machine casing. So let's make one of them. Machine casing. And add crafter. So I will make another one of these because, as I said, I want to automate both the solderer here, and I want to get some automatic item creation. One of these will open in a second. I think it could just be my connection today. I really do. I was having a bit of an issue even loading a web page up earlier. So they are doing work on the network in my my local area, so potentially that is the problem. Alright, so this now has a crafter attached to it. So again, as I said before, we can now teach this to make an item in here. So let's grab a couple of patterns. I'm probably going to need to take a stack of cobble and pulverize it. I want some more glass, so let's today. Goodness me. Hello. Split. What I split on. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'll be back in just a second. Alright, I'm back. I've got a few patterns. I made 10 patterns. I crafted some sand and I crushed it in here, and I've also got some iron going, some flint here, so that's just going to give me flint. I was making some more silicon as well. Really? It's weird. I'm wondering if it is my computer. At the moment, it seems to only hiccup a little when I start recording, but this isn't taxing my computer at all. This pack is a lot better than, say, the one I do with the kids, where I'm running the server as well. I'm only using 20% of my CPU for this pack, which is cool. But that being said, when I run the World of Galaxies pack with the kids as well, I can max out my CPU. I can hit the limit of it pretty much, which can cause some dramas. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put crafters up here eventually. So this will be where my auto crafting goes. So we'll just start with one here. I don't really want that pointing down actually. I'll wrench it. Did that work? I don't know. That's it. That's the way I want it. I don't know if that actually did move the wrench. I don't think it did. So what we want to do is we've got our crafter here pointing into the solderer, so we can put our crafting patterns in here to work on this one. So let's start with, say, the one for silicon. So if I go to my processing pattern encoder, I can say one silicon. Yeah, I'm left clicking to bring that down to one printed silicon. We'll put a pattern in here and go like that. Actually, one thing I want to do probably, we've got this OR dictionary button, because there are different types of silicon. I think there's different types of silicon. Refined storage has its own silicon, and if you don't select the OR dictionary thing here, it'll only use the Ender IO silicon. So craft that in, uses OR dictionary, so we can place that in this crafter like so. And now what we can do is, if we want the silicon, the printed silicon, so I can type in silicon here, you can see this, it says craft. If I select that and say I want one, it'll say we're missing some silicon. So if I put, let's put 2 in there, and I want to craft 1, start. In here we should see the silicon come in, it'll process, and then it'll sit there. So what I need is a way of pulling the items back out of the solderer and into the grid, or into our system. So for that, I'm going to need an importer, that one here. So we're going to need an improved, a cable, and a destruction core. So I'm going to need another basic. Take that out of there for now. We're going to need another basic and an improved. So let's get the basic. Like so. And we will teach these patterns to the system, but we need this importer, and I'll probably put it under the floor. I think I should be able to put it down here. We'll find out in just a second. So which one is it? I need destruction, so that's nether quartz. So let's grab our basic and a piece of nether quartz. Yep. Okay, yep. One destruction core. That, and this gets us an importer. So I should be able to dig up under the floor here. I'm not sure where Mainfreaks run cables, so I'm a little bit worried about where I'm running. So if I put the importer on here, will it connect up? I hope so. So if I now request another silicon, we've got none in the system, we've got one piece of silicon. So if I want that one, start, we should see it come into here, process, and hopefully it disappears. And up in our grid is our printed silicon. Excellent. So now we need to teach it some of the other stuff. So at the moment, though, this is going to, anything I put in here and process, it's going to pull it out. So if I put in a piece of iron, let's get gold and diamond. All right. So put this in here, and we're going to get our processes. So basic, improved, and advanced. So these will go straight into the system here. Oh, mate's here. Oh, I'm stuck on the floor. Oh, he's bringing me more gifts. Look out. Hi, Nate. Recording at the moment. So I was just chatting with him in Discord. Ooh. More gifts. Why, thank you. Okay. I must have done the Britannia fight. Did the Britannia boss fight? Dragon egg. Say what? Give me dragon egg. What? Oh. Oh wow. Awesome. He's given me all the stuff I require to get creative flight. So he's given me an extra utilities angel ring and a dragon egg mill and a dragon egg. So this thing, I'll never have to make any other extra utilities power. So we won't have to do any of the water mills or windmills or anything. He's given me everything I require. That's great. Wow, thanks, Nate. You are a champion. Alright, give me a second, I'll cut, I'll have a chat with Nate, and I'll be right back. Alright, so Nate was just making a change to my letterbox, so that anyone can give me gifts without too much drama. So he's put up, geez, rubber banding today. Let's put a vacuum hopper and a chest out there so that you don't need to even be in my claimed area to be able to put stuff in the chest, which is cool. I also set up the dragon egg generator, which is giving me 500 GP, and I've got my ring on, so it's using 32 when I'm flying. All I need is some step assist and I'm laughing. So now I can fly around and tidy up the front of my base a bit more, which would be great. Right, so where was I? I've got the one pattern in here, the solderer. We've got the silicon one. One of the cool things about this processing pattern encoder is you can also set up, you don't need the items in your inventory. So as I was saying before, when you're creating patterns, with something like applied energistics, you would need to go iron in here, and then it makes basic printed here. So if I do a recipe request on this by pushing R, I can do the shift and plus there, and it puts the items here ready to be turned into a pattern. So I can do that the same with this one. Actually, I don't. Just you don't need to push shift, just push plus, and that'll get us those items. So that's the iron, that one, and that one. So we now can make the 4 basic starts, so the printed bits. And now what we can do is do the improved part. Now this is a bit that might go a little bit funny. That's one. If I put the diamond one there, will it change? No. What if I do uses for this one? That might work. There's the diamond. So we've got a gold diamond, and then uses for this one, like so. And that should give us things to make all our processes. So that will give us the ability to craft each of them, and then I wanted to put into this thing I made before, how to make a pattern. Cool. So I guess another thing we're going to need a lot of is the quartz enriched iron. So let's grab our patterns back out of here. And put them in here for now. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Pattern 3 here. And that'll give us a pattern for the quartz enriched iron. So I can throw that in there. And let's just dump some items away so I don't carry everything. Perhaps, I don't know how much cable I'm going to need, but that might be something we could come in handy. And I guess I'd like to make it so that I can craft these on demand. So let's do that and that. There's 2 of them. Let's make another 5 patterns. Hopefully I've got the stuff I need. Start. Nice and quick. Let's set up the pattern for a crafter. And for that we're also going to need this. Right. What else do we need? At the moment that's probably about it for the moment. We'll need to do a little bit more, perhaps in the way of making discs. So let's do, these are all normal patterns. So I guess one more. Does that mean we can now make a crafter? Oop. Let's see what it says if we want to make a crafter. So it needs to craft a few of these things. We'll see if it derps up. So we should see things crafting in here. So it's making an advanced processor. I don't know if I've got, I need to make a crafting monitor, I believe, to give us a little bit of insight into what it's doing. Crafting monitor. Probably it'll just steal it. It'll probably have a bit of a hissy fit because I stole some stuff. Let's have a look. So this is now making advanced processor. It's making a basic one at the moment. So this shows you everything it's doing, and I think a reason why it can't make this one will show up like in red like this. It's making a basic processor and then an advanced. It's making the advanced now. Now it's making another basic. There we go, making the basic, and then it should craft the. Once it's finished this basic, it'll make the destruction core and then make another crafter. Like that. And in here we should have a crafter to be able to place. So I don't want that crafting monitor there. I just threw it there for just so I could get the visual while we were doing it. Again, that's not how I want that. Okay, so it definitely was working before with the wrench. Like so. Cool. And I guess eventually, you know what, let's just put crafting monitor there for now. So it'll show when I'm crafting something, it'll show what it's doing. Cool. Right, so we've got a few patterns there. We'll probably need another solderer because there are a few more items that need the solderer. I may end up moving these. Perhaps I'll just bury them in the floor. It's always helpful. I probably don't need this furnace anymore. Throw that in the system. It'll come in handy for something. But let me just double check where we're up to in terms of recording time. I don't want to go too far over and make you all bored at me. In fact, I've already gone miles over. So I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you all for watching. Yep, got some basic automation going on here. Maybe next episode we'll do a little bit more in this realm, or perhaps we'll I don't know, we might look into something else. We'll have to I'll make a decision. Maybe I'll get some speed upgrades working. I'll automate some storage parts, and yeah, I think we're doing pretty good. Storage is up and running, farm's up and running, power gen's going. I just got gifted the lovely angel ring, so I can now fly, which means I can fix my roof. Main Freak gave me the ability to jump over to his base, so next time he's on, I'll show you all his base, and he gave me this lovely room down here. So we'll have to work out what we're doing with that. But I think actually I think next episode I'll dabble in a little bit of Britannia, just so I can get uphill step assist, because I'm getting a little annoyed with walking up the hill or jumping up the steps. I could put stairs in, but that requires more work than doing a little bit of Britannia. So thank you all for watching. Catch us next time.